Ah. Hey, Sojourn Kingdom kids, don't mind me. I've been trying to get this jar open for quite some time. I can't get it. Have you ever tried to do something, but you just can't get it? Hey, Ben, could you please help me open this jar? It's really stuck. Thank you. Oh my goodness, thank you. I've been trying to get this all day. That is just what I needed. Sometimes we need help with things, and that's okay. We can't do everything alone. We've been talking about how Jesus gave us the Holy Spirit, so we are never alone. In today's story, we will see two people who need some help. They can't fix the problem on their own. But before we get to the story today, I think we need a quick recap. Last week, we saw how an encounter with Jesus changed 10 men's lives. Jesus healed 10 men with leprosy, a really bad sickness, but only one man came back to say thank you. When someone says thank you, doesn't it make you feel so good? Like, yay! They noticed what I did! We keep hearing these stories of Jesus helping others. My question is, how has Jesus helped you? It's good to think about the things God has done for you and to be thankful for them, just like that one man who was sick. He was so thankful that Jesus healed him. He showed his thanksgiving by returning to Jesus and falling at his feet and telling him how thankful he was. Let's keep being thankful for all God has done for us, and let's tell him how we are thankful too. So, I want to try something different today. Before we get into our story, I think we need to wake up. So I think we should have a dance break. So on the count of 3, I want you to stand up and show me your very best dance move. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, dance break! Woo! I love dancing, don't you? Did I see someone do the worm out there? That was awesome. Okay, now that we got some of our dancing out, let's get into story mode. Jesus was in Galilee by the shore when a large group gathered around him. Jairus, one of the leaders in the synagogue, came to Jesus and fell at his feet and begged for help. Jesus, help me, please. My daughter, she needs help. She is very sick. So Jesus went with him. A large crowd followed and pressed around Jesus. A woman was there who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years. She had suffered a lot and seen many doctors to try and help her. She spent all she had, but instead of getting better, she got worse. When this woman heard about Jesus, she came up behind him in the large crowd and touched his cloak. She thought, if I just touch Jesus' clothes, then I will be healed. She touched Jesus' cloak, and when she did, immediately her bleeding stopped, and she felt in her body that she was freed from all her suffering. At once, Jesus realized that power had gone out from him. He turned around in the crowd and asked, "Who touched my clothes?" The disciples answered Jesus by telling him that, well, you see all the people crowding against you, and yet you ask, who touched me? The disciples meant, don't you see this large crowd all gathered up against you? It could have been any of them, if not all of them. But Jesus kept looking to see who had done it. Then the woman, knowing what had happened to her, came and fell at Jesus' feet, and trembling with fear, told him the whole truth. Jesus, it was I who touched you. I have been bleeding for 12 years, and I thought if only I touched you, I would be healed. No doctor or amount of money has been able to make me well, but has only made me worse. Now I am healed. Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering. While Jesus was still speaking, some people came from the house of Jairus, the synagogue leader. Remember, Jesus was on his way to help Jairus' daughter. The people told Jairus, "Your daughter is dead. So why bother the teacher anymore?" Jesus overheard the men talking to Jairus and told Jairus, "Don't be afraid. Just believe." Jesus continued to the house, and when he got there, he saw a commotion with people crying and wailing loudly. Jesus went in and said to the people, "Why all the commotion and wailing? The child is not dead, but asleep." The people laughed at him. Jesus put them all out, and he took the father and mother and the disciples who were with him, and they went in where the child was. Jesus took the daughter by the hand and said to her, "Talitha cum," which means, "Little girl, I say to you, get up." Immediately, the girl stood up and began to walk around. She was 12 years old. At this, they were completely astonished. Jairus came up and begged Jesus for help. The woman in the crowd didn't ask for help, but just believed that even touching Jesus would help her. In both stories today, the characters knew they were in a situation they couldn't fix on their own. They needed help, and they knew Jesus could help them. We can always count on Jesus to help us. Like the woman, we need to believe that Jesus is a powerful God who not only will help us, but is able to help us. He is able to do more than we could ever imagine. But we need to believe that he can. Jesus can heal. Jesus can help us when it seems like there is no way out. Jesus is our helper. That doesn't mean Jesus will do whatever we want, but it does mean we can always count on God to help us in the way he thinks is best. I'm so glad I have someone I can always count on. See you next week, friends. Bye.